SexyHackers.com.
Sexy Hackers Clothing presents a podcast where anything can happen. So long as it's in this one book that we're reading. Warning! Do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures that you may have when a scientific genius lets you test his latest invention, the Superbike. From time to time, as you read along, you'll have a chance to make a choice. After you make your decision, follow the instructions to find out what happens to you next. On the Superbike, you may have a chance to win a cross-country bike race and become rich and famous. But be careful. There are people out there who would like to get their hands on the Superbike any way they can. Good luck.
SexyHackers.com.
Life is like a story with many paths to choose. I gotta get some good friends to help me make it through. So here's the plan. Just take my hand, the adventure's just begun. And all we have to do is turn to page fun.
And welcome to Turn to Page Fun, the only podcast where I, your host, Nick Fearer, read through a bunch of game book and choose your own adventure book like books with a panel of my friends and review them. An idea that was so good, I immediately stole it from my partner and froze her out of the production process. Right now, we are returning to a Superbike by Edward Packard. Copyright 1992 by Banta Books Publishing and Edward Packard. With me this week, I have all the way over on my left, musician and comedian and writer, Mr. Brian Bear. Hi, Brian.
Hi, it's Brian IAN.
Oh, yeah, Brian IAN.
That's how I will never introduce myself.
Hi, I'm Brian IAN.
It's like Will I Am. Is he spelling it like? Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Okay. Good talk.
The Superbike hit a wall.
Also this week, over on my right, I have a mad scientist. I have a dinner detective. And comedian, a very funny comedian, and of course, meanest person I know, Miss Stacy Pawlowski.
Thanks for having me back, Nick.
Yeah, I love having you back.
Thanks for saying I was a funny comedian.
You are.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Happy Valentine's Day, perhaps?
I don't know. Yes,
might be.
maybe
One more.
It'll be close
one
to
week
Valentine's
more.
Day.
On like a Friday
Yeah,
this year.
yeah. So that's something to think about.
Yep.
How was your week been?
I'm assuming it was amazing.
Okay, good. We're just not gonna even pretend anymore.
Everybody knows. I love it because sometimes you listen to it and it's like, oh, it's so cold outside. It was like the hottest week ever. And we're talking about the snow on the ground because we recorded in
I remember there was one time
November.
I recorded one where I just assumed that there would be snow on the ground, and there
That's
was
what I mean.
not.
It was so nice.
It's hard to keep ahead.
Yeah.
And finally, we have a very special guest right on my left. I have a comedian and improviser, Mr. Brian Green. Hi, Brian.
Hello.
How you doing today?
Changed my name to a Y.
Oh,
That's just my name. Y.
Just why?
Just Y.
Why?
just your name? Why?
It's
All right.
Y, like Prince or.
And somebody says, what's your name? And you say, why? And they're like, oh, because I want to
I'm
know
like,
your
well,
name.
fuck you too. And then they walk away.
It's kind of like Malcolm X, but it's Y.
It's just
Brian
just
Y.
Brian. Why?
Okay, I just changed it again.
Oh,
Keep
yeah.
up, y'all.
Trying.
I haven't left this chair, but like 3 weeks has gone past. I had no idea this shit. I'm older.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm older.
I missed out on some stuff.
Keep you in stasis for a
Whew,
week.
we almost. Luckily, we didn't have that war.
Oh my God.
Woo,
Brian.
that was literally dodged a bullet. Am I right?
Yep. We'll see. Oh, well, if you're still listening to us in a post-apocalyptic hellscape,
Turn to page survival.
Oh God.
we are
This T-shirt bitches. What's good?
we are currently reading Superbike by Edward Packard. Last week in Superbike, we found a wallet in the theater. After we decided that we were watching Jurassic Park and we're horribly disappointed.
Shittiest fucking movie. Again, this is a week has gone by and I still have not changed my stance.
Sounds like you haven't changed your stance since 1992.
I have not.
All right. Fair.
And
Always watch the movie before you read the book, or you're going
yes.
to be mad.
And the moral of that is fuck that movie.
After the movie, we found a wallet. In the wallet was $300 and the name of a guy with.
Still not gonna make it for the time you lost watching that piece of shit movie. I'm sorry. It could be $3 million in there. You still be like, damn, where the rest of my money?
And so we decided to return it to him. And it turns out he's a scientist who gives you an awesome bike for giving him back his wallet.
Superbike.
And on that bike is what's called a air magnet. And that helps the bike go fast by science magic.
Damn, I hope don't nobody steal it.
So we decided to keep it a secret so nobody would steal it. And then as we kept it a secret, we also then decided immediately that we were going to enter the most public bike race in the country. And in order to do that, we decided that it would be best if we just fucked off to bike camp.
To train.
To train for a month before that. And of course, rather than just go to bike camp and train on a...
Where's this bike camp and where?
Bike camp is in Racial Slur Valley.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Which I said it a whole bunch of times last week, and then Brian kept on calling it out, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because before we even started recording, I was like, yeah, say anything you want, but just no racial slurs. The first thing out of my mouth is this
Edward
thing
Packard.
in this book.
In California. It's in California.
It's in California.
Undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location, California. And so, so we decided to take the bike with us to bike camp rather than just learn how to ride a normal bike and just get good that way. We decided how to learn how to cheat on our super bike.
Yeah.
And then somebody steals our air magnet that makes it a super bike.
After they, we went on our races and they're like, whoa, it seems like that bike has something special on it. And we're just like, well, I'm going to leave my bike alone for the next, overnight, go on a gondola ride, eat my big steak, leave it out of my sight. I would be watching that bike. I'd be standing by the bike.
Where do you find a gondola in California? I thought that was an Italian thing. All right, fine. Go ahead.
Well, those things that take you up the mountain on a string are also called gondolas.
And they take you up on a string?
Yeah, like the conveyor belts that take you up the
I'm
mountain.
concerned about being on a string.
So you don't have to walk.
It's like at Summerfest.
Okay.
Like Summerfest grounds.
Those things in the skywalk.
Like on the tracks. Yeah.
That's also cool. I mean, I kind of knew
like
that.
Like at State Fair.
But I just had a vision.
Or not State Fair, but
Summerfest.
Yeah.
I just had a vision of like a boat.
Like a boat going up the mountain with
around the world in 88 days.
Air magnet.
You're just in a boat and there's an Italian guy just shoving the boat up there.
Singing pissed off Italian songs, dude. In Italian. You don't even know what he's saying. He's having a great time back there pushing this shit.
He's pedaling. He's a little help.
So fucking a kid with his air mattress.
So air mattress.
Magnet.
It's really hard not to say air mattress every time I read it. So we decided that our air magnet gets sawed off of our bike and stolen. We call the police and they show up an hour later to this resort out in the middle of nowhere to investigate this kid's air magnet getting stolen from his bike.
A thing they've never heard of before because it's a secret made by a fake German in his laboratory. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
All right. And then we decided whether or not we decided that we were just going to stay at bike camp because we actually really like bike racing.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll find who stole our air magnet. Maybe
it was Thad.
It was our rival Thad Williams.
Yeah.
Is that his last name?
Thad Williams, yes.
Something like that.
Is his name. And he is very punchable. All right. So this is what happens when we decide to stay at bike camp after our Superbike gets basically sabotaged, and the cool thing about it gets stolen.
Jacked.
You decide to stay on in bike camp. Although your bike is still the best in the camp, most of the other bikers are stronger and more experienced than you. And for the next week, you're nearly always one of the last to finish. Still, you keep at it. You enjoy biking and make many good friends, and you get better and better each week. You come in 6th out of 50 in your final 20-kilometer race, even though you're the youngest one in the camp. At the big farewell dinner that night, Ollie Strauss, the camp director, gives a speech. He talks about what a great group of bikers have been at the camp and says that he's spotted 3 or 4 future champions in the group. Later, he takes you aside.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what he sounds like.
Sounds
What's
like
his name?
Ollie.
Is he he's not the Austrian, right?
No.
Oh, that was Werner something.
That was Van something.
Oh, he was the creepy voice.
Really admire the way you stuck it with it even after your air magnet was stolen, he
How did
says.
he know it was an air magnet?
Really? Ollie? Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm glad I did it, you say. I've had a great time. I only wish I still had a Superbike. Well, you may not have a Superbike, he says, but you're a super biker. The end.
What? The fuck? Are you kidding me?
No, dude, you lying. Oh, fuck me, I'm looking at it. No.
Fuck this fucking
That
boy,
is
man.
like having sex and your girl pick up the phone when it rings. And she just go, all you hear is, oh, nothing. This was some abrupt shit. That's why he hit this bird. You can see on this right here, you can see this dude's bike can fly, and it's not fair to the rest of the bikers, obviously, but he also endangering wildlife with his fucking flying bike. The end.
How dare you, Edward Packard? How dare you?
Yeah, you know.
Is this dude still alive?
Why even? Gonna go thad this guy.
Yeah, he getting fatted.
Why even get? Oh, maybe you'll
Oh,
find
god
it.
damn it. That was, oh, fuck. That's
I
the
know.
most. That's
I
the
thought it's a
second
big
most-
dinner. It was like the lights were gonna go on and be like, "There's been a murder.
No,
There's been a robbery."
That's the second most disappointing thing in 1992. And we all know what the first most disappointing thing of 1992 was. Callers.
Collars.
Was it Jurassic Park?
Yes.
I mean, 10-year-old me had a great time. Not gonna lie.
Not the one that read. Could you read?
I read the
you
book
could read.
after I saw the
Could you?
movie.
Oh, yeah, she
I
is
could read.
10. What the fuck
At the
am I-
time, I could read.
This dude came out reading.
See books.
So that's definitely one way that this 1 out of 12 endings that this
It
book
didn't
has.
end, it quit. The fuck is that? Some stuff ends. I just said, fuck it, I'm out. Oh, God.
There are,
Do another one.
yeah, there are.
Well, yeah, and we got to
That's
decide.
what we'll do. There's 11
got a lot
more,
of
so we're going to go
choices.
back and decide what other choices that we can make. We could leave bike camp. We could do
Oh,
the,
go talk to the scientist
yeah,
instead?
talk to
yeah.
the scientists instead. We can do the tour of New England, or we could tell
Show our
our
friends.
friends.
Way
Wow, we
back.
only had 3 choices that
What
time.
time of
Yeah.
year is it? Because New England is beautiful in the fall.
June.
It's in the spring,
yeah.
where
fuck
New
New
England
England.
sucks.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that New England sucks in the spring. So
All right. Then, go. What's the other choices?
Should we?
we brag the bike to our friends.
All right. Show off your friends.
We
Go to New England.
go-
If you brag to your friends, one of them is going to steal it out
Yeah.
of jealousy. So, yes.
I mean, do we want to go on the tour of New England?
I kind of
maybe?
want some chowder.
there we go. Gotta go to
That's
the-
a good enough reason as any to go.
Because I still don't think he's going to give us a new air magnet.
By the way, just for the record, if I had that super bike with the air magnet, I would have gotten pulled over by now. Just for the fucking record.
Do you think that they would believe your story about where you got it?
From a creepy old German guy in his laboratory.
I can be like, oh, he just gave it
Sir,
to you?
could you please get off the bike? Put your hands behind your back. This is for my safety as well as yours.
Superbike.
So we're gonna go. We're cool with going to see what happens if we go to New England.
I guess, yeah. Let's just
All right.
blow the secret in front of everyone.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go and see what happens when we go to New England and do the tour of New England after this quick word from our sponsors.
SexyHackers.com.
This episode of Turn the Page Fun brought to you by Crushing Disappointment. Crushing Disappointment, getting gradually worse and more unbearable since 1992. That's right, Crushing Disappointment, the only thing life has in store for you.
Guaranteed.
That's Crushing Disappointment. Get it everywhere.
Sold to minors.
SexyHackers.com.
And we are back to Turn the Page Fun. We are currently reading Superbike by Edward Packard, where we get a superbike. So far, we've gotten a superbike. We've decided to keep it a secret from our friends, but then decided to enter it into the most public race in the country or even the world. Then we decided that we were going to become a better bike racer by taking it to bike camp, and then it gets basically stolen at bike camp. But then we stayed at bike camp, and then we liked it. And then at the end of bike camp, we didn't get our super bike back, but we did get told that we ourselves were a super biker. And then we threw the book across the room.
You know what? Especially because fucking Thad never faced any consequences.
Right?
No.
We never got to at least we didn't even get to beat him in the fucking race without
Nothing.
the air magnet.
No, it was horribly disappointing ending. So we
by
were
a
given a
bus.
choice earlier to go to bike camp or to try it out and some real life experience with the tour of New England. And so we are going to decide to go ahead and do the tour of New England
In the spring.
In the spring.
When it's
when it's
at its most New England. Yes.
You decide to swim on a local beach.
Where
New Jersey.
Where you can walk on water. Yeah. It's no big deal.
You decide to pass up bike camp and get some real racing experience under your belt.
Fucking right.
You register for the Tour of New England, a 200-mile race that begins in Rhode Island and continues through Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine.
Oh, shit.
That's 200 miles.
Yeah, it's
How
New
little is
England's
these
small.
fucking states?
you're
Very
going back
small.
and forth. They're really small.
It's
It's like
200 miles, you can cover 4 states.
yeah, they're really small.
all
It's like
packed in
100
there.
miles from DC to New York. It's insane. Like yeah.
My phone.
Oh, it's on the charger.
I have to reference this. Oh, you're right. You're right. It's on the charger. My bad.
A field of 500 bikers will be competing for the first prize of $10,000. The race begins at sunup on June 21st, the longest day of the year. The sun rises a little after 5 a.m. that morning in Newport, Rhode Island, where the race begins.
Where they make the cigarettes.
When the big day
sponsored by
arrives.
Newport. Bikers are smoking.
Yeah, that's
Fucking hills. Can we go to Montana? It's flat.
yes. In order to do the yes,
To enter, you got to smoke a pack.
yeah, the Tour of New England. The one rule of the Tour of New England is you just got to be smoking Newports the whole time. It takes 3 months.
They got them little stations with water. There's a dude standing there holding a lit one. Here you go. Keep going. By now
pass
you're walking
by?
and pushing your bike. It's like, why the fuck did I buy a bike?
When the big day arrives, you and the other bikers form a dense pack near the ramp to the bridge across Narragansett Bay.
They're against it, dude.
Narragansett Bay. You check your supplies, water, snacks, sunblock, Newports, and strap on your goggles.
Need water by a bay. Yeah.
Still no helmet, just goggles.
You're near the rear of the pack, but that doesn't bother you. Your starting position won't make much difference in a 200-mile race. The sun peaks above the horizon between 2 church spires in Newport and casts an early morning glow on the choppy waters of the bay.
Chop, chop, chop.
It's a beautiful day, but you can tell already that it's going to be a hot one. This
It's
race
a
may
hot
turn.
one. Like 7 from the midday
A song
sun.
comes into your head. You will later write and
Race may turn out.
Rob Thomas.
Sell it to Carlos Santana and Rob Thomas and make a mint. Fuck a bike.
Anyway,
Sorry.
This race may turn out to be more a test of endurance than of speed. The starting pistol fires,
Kapow!
and the lead bikers push off.
I want to be held to pistol gangster style.
in Rhode Island.
On your marks.
Marks.
Dead set. Oh, drop it like it's hot.
You tell yourself not to set too fast a pace,
Yeah.
but the Superbike seems to want to cover ground.
It's become sentient.
You weave around the bikers ahead of you, passing one after another. About 40 minutes later, you cross the state line into Connecticut. By now, only 6 or 7 bikers are ahead of you, but you know they're some of the best in the world. You cruise through Connecticut towards Massachusetts, taking the lead near Torrington.
Don't win this race. Like, hold back. Don't. God.
Don't set the pace.
In the north
Win the
central
race.
part of the state, a warm breeze blows at your back, and you hardly need the air magnet to cut your wind resistance to 0.
Warm.
It's like the wind is talking to you.
Warm.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, no, this picture.
It's like the tortoise and the hare.
It's like the tortoise in my hair.
Oh, you don't fucking.
There's a foreshadowing picture of you just like fucking off to the side of the road and taking a nap next to your Superbike.
Classic Superbike behavior.
You race through the hilly country of western Massachusetts to cross into Vermont at about 2 p.m. You don't know how big your lead is, but you know it's time for a rest. You can't remember ever feeling so tired.
Finally, he got
hot,
arrested.
thirsty, and hungry. You stretch out on a soft, mossy bank in the shade of an old maple tree. After a drink of water and a snack of raisins and nuts, you like...
It's so specific.
Raisins and nuts.
Can't have one without the other.
No. You lie back and close your eyes. Birds are singing in the trees, and bees are buzzing among the wildflowers along the road. It feels so good to lie down and rest.
Suddenly you realize you have an allergy to bee venom.
Without meaning to, you drift off to sleep. You don't wake up until a loud clap of thunder erupts above you. You sit up with a start. Huge, dark storm clouds are rolling across the sky. You look at your watch. It's 5 p.m. You've been asleep for almost 3 hours.
Dumb.
You glance at the road and see a biker at the crest of the next hill. There's a number on his back. You're too far away to read it, but it's obvious that he's in the race. That means at least one biker is ahead of you now, and maybe more.
Or all.
Fucking Thad. Didn't the sound of the bike going past him wake him up? None.
Apparently not.
40 dudes on bicycles.
He-
I'm resting on this mossy bank.
There's usually like rest stations too. Like, aren't there?
Right?
Just
You would
like,
think.
I'm just gonna fuck off in the woods.
200 miles in a day? That ain't shit.
Yeah.
You immediately grab your bike and hit the road. You hope you can make it up the time you lost by falling asleep. Quickly, you work up to 30 miles an hour, which is the highest speed this back road will take.
What?
You gain rapidly on the biker ahead of you. Then you lose sight of him as he goes over the crest of another hill.
Time to fly, motherfuckers.
When you reach the crest, you see him turning onto a dirt road heading east. There's a flag flying at the intersection. Still pedaling, you check your map to see that the route turns here and follows a rough, hilly dirt road for 10 miles before intersecting with another paved road that will take you into New Hampshire.
Wait, he riding his bike and reading a map.
Yeah.
He's just got a map.
30 miles an hour. The map ain't flapping
dirt
around
road, yeah.
in the wind and shit.
And he's smoking a Newport.
You know he is.
The map starts on fire. Oh, fuck. That's when the rain starts.
Every homeless dude in New Hampshire. Hey, bro, you got another one? Let me get one of them pours, bro.
You speed down the hill, then brake for the turn onto the dirt road. The other biker is now only a few dozen yards ahead of you, but you know there's little chance of passing him at the moment. The road is too uneven and bumpy to risk going over 50 miles an hour. It's frustrating. You really want to catch up to the biker in front of you, but you're going to have to be patient. A clap of thunder rumbles up overhead. A strong wind comes up out of nowhere. Scattering drops of rain make dark spots on the packed dirt of the road.
I wonder how this air magnet works in a storm.
Out of the corner of the eye, you see a flash of lightning. It's followed by another clap of thunder. And with that, it begins to pour. Peering ahead through the sheets of rain, you spot an old barn just 100 yards down the road.
Uh-oh.
I could have slept in that.
You wonder whether you should take shelter there or try to ride out the storm. You've been sleeping all afternoon, and you don't need to rest. Further delay might cost you the race. On the other hand, getting hit by lightning could cost you your life. If you keep going, turn to page 76. If you take shelter, turn to page 67.
First off, I don't like the similarity of those two numbers.
I know, they're just inverse.
One is one backwards.
It's a sign.
Do I keep going or do I take shelter?
I mean, that. First of all, that barn could be another laboratory. We don't know.
There's another Superbike.
Also,
Yeah, there's another German guy with a super helmet.
well, we meet again.
This looks like the work of my arch nemesis, Dr. Kepler.
Impeccable, boy. I tell you, that was impeccable.
Clearly, he is German, whereas I am Austrian.
You Australian, goddammit. Why do you talk like that?
I say we keep going because we already took a nap, and that's on us. So suck it up, kid. Maybe it repels lightning or something. I don't know. Or
I think we're
attracts it.
going to get struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gave you the
I say
option.
keep going anyway.
Keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
get struck by lightning.
Maybe
But I
that'll
think we're gonna get struck
supercharge
by
the bike.
lightning.
Suddenly it can fly.
Since you brought up lightning, I don't know. I guess I keep going just because I screwed up and it took me too long. You know, I don't want to lose, especially because I got the air magnet, and I don't want to make the doctor look like a chump.
Yeah. Although I think if we lose this race, it's not that big a deal. Like, okay,
No,
now
it's
we
the
know what it's
prelim,
like.
right? It's the prelim,
Right.
It's like okay.
And now we know that, don't take a fucking nap, kid.
Oh fuck! I can see what's getting ready.
Oh, no.
This is ruined for me.
All right. You decide you can't afford any further delay. You have to keep going if you want to win. You bike past the barn and start up the long hill. Rain pelts you. Lightning flashes around you.
I think I can.
A crack of thunder sounds so close that you almost jump off your bike. Pedaling is an effort, even with the Superbike, because the road is getting muddy. Your bike wheels splash through puddles and send spray flying on either side. You can feel the cold wind through your wet clothes. You clear the crest of the hill. By now, you should have caught up with the other biker, but there's no sign of them. You figure he must have ducked into the barn you passed. You start down the slope, trying to pick up as much speed as possible, even though your wheels are slipping in the mud. The rain pelts you even harder. You can hardly see the road in front of your wheels. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of light blinds you as a thunderous jolt throws you off your bike. You black out before you hit the ground.
Oh.
Slur. I said good day, slur.
You wake up with a headache, lying in a muddy ditch. A man is kneeling beside you.
Oh, fuck.
no.
I know.
Gently tapping your cheek with his palm. Slowly, it dawns on you where you are. In Vermont, in a bike race.
In a ditch.
You must have been knocked off your bike by lightning. About 20 yards away, you see a tree that has been split wide open. That must be where the lightning struck. It's lucky you weren't any closer.
The end.
What about the bike?
Right.
What about the bike?
The man who is trying to bring you around sees that you've come to. He steps back, and you recognize him as the biker who is ahead of you. Are you all right? He asks.
I was.
I'm from around these parts.
I think so, you say, though you still have a headache. You stand up carefully and brush yourself off. Oh, where did you come from? I stopped in the barn when the storm hit. I thought you were going to duck in there too, but you just kept going.
Like an idiot.
And Pepper's Farm remembers.
I guess I should have stopped. You look around. A gentle rain is still falling, but the wind has stopped. You can see a patch of blue sky in the west. Your head is feeling better every minute, and you decide it's time to get moving again. There's still a chance you could win this race.
Where's your bike?
You pick up your bike and wheel it onto the road. You go ahead, you say to the other biker. You'd be half a mile down the road by now if you hadn't stopped to help me.
Bullshit, 3/4.
You sure you'll be all right then? He says. Yeah, definitely, thanks.
I love you, New England, dude.
Thanks for the air magnet, kid.
Sometimes Dad is better.
Oh, no. We're in Maine. Crossed over into Maine.
Yes, definitely. Thanks, but please go on. Because I want to get back in the race. Okay. He gets on his bike and takes off. You wait until he's covered about half a mile, and then you push off too. You pull abreast of him just as the two of you reach the end of the dirt road. Say, is there anyone else ahead of us? You call to him. The only one I saw was Pete Gregory, the national champion. If Pete got caught in the storm, you might be able to catch him. Not me, though. I'm pooped.
Yep.
He's Canadian as fuck.
Pooped.
He did say pooped.
You don't feel pooped at all.
Because he slept all
I
afternoon.
feel shit.
Your headache is almost gone, and you're well rested from your long nap earlier.
And wet.
You wave at the other biker and turn onto the Macadam Road, and that will take you to the New Hampshire border and then cross to the southern part of the state to the finish line in Maine. You accelerate quickly, relishing the feel of the pavement beneath your tires. A glance at your watch tells you it's 6 p.m. It's the longest day of the year, so there should be light in the sky until after 9. There's still a chance you can make the Maine border before dark, and now you know that there's only one racer ahead of you. It's true he's the national champion, but you're well rested, in good shape, and you've got a superbike.
Yeah, how about switch on that air magnet, kid?
No shit.
The road ahead.
No one else is around.
The road ahead is straight as an arrow. You're determined to rev your bike to the limit. You pedal hard.
Take it to the limit.
Shifting as you pick up speed.
To the danger zone.
You feel the bike accelerating, but something is wrong.
Oh, no.
The faster you go, the more wind blows in your face.
Uh-oh.
You can't get your bike over 30. Suddenly, you realize what's wrong. The air mattress, or
You've been dragging for the past 4 miles. Has picked up some debris from the tree that was hit by lightning.
suddenly you realize what's wrong. The air magnet isn't working. You fiddle with the knob, but nothing happens. Oh.
Welcome to reality.
So ride your bike, you cheating fuck.
Okay. What could have gone wrong? Suddenly the answer comes to you. The lightning bolt must have demagnetized the air magnet. Oh. There's no way of fixing it during the race. You realize that although you probably have the best bike in the country, it's no longer a super bike.
Keep telling yourself that, kid.
At that moment, you look over your shoulder. The biker who stopped to help you earlier is gaining on you again. He must have gotten his second wind, and there's another racer behind him coming on fast. You can't waste time moaning about what happened. You've got to get moving.
Take it to the limit.
What had happened was got my air magnet.
4 hours and 20 minutes later, you cross.
420. Oh, that's his problem. That's what's up with Ed.
You cross the Tour New England finish line at Kittery Point, Maine, finishing fourth. You feel terrible.
Wow.
But several people come up to you and congratulate you. Great race, they say. but I didn't win, you say.
Said numbers 1 through 3.
Yeah. Be a dick.
Good race, dick.
Yeah.
Yes, but 4th out of a field of 500 is terrific.
Yeah, that's really fucking good, dude.
Especially if you're from away.
And a kid.
No.
Like a 10-year-old.
Especially
Wait, they don't say that. No. Oh, okay, cool.
especially if for your first big race. You accept their congratulations. But you can't help thinking that if you hadn't had a Superbike for most of the race, you probably wouldn't have come in 4th or even 40th. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. 400th, bitch. Just a good day for your no bike riding ass.
That night, there's a big party for all the racers. You meet lots of people and make new friends. Everyone agrees.
Uh-oh.
All but 3. They're
shit.
snubbing you.
One's going to call you a super biker. God damn it.
Everyone agrees it was a great race.
Oh, no. Don't.
And that competitive biking is a great sport.
No.
Don't.
Several people say.
Nick, you got every chance to not do that.
Several people say they hope you'll be in the Tour of America next month.
Yeah.
You tell them that you will. Whether you can get your air magnet fixed or not, you're determined to become a champion. The end.
Edward Packard got tired of writing.
Edward came down from that 420. He was just tired, said, fuck it, I'm going to nap for a few. I don't care how many other books pass this one up.
Oh, boy.
man.
Shit. All right, fine. I guess it was better. It was less abrupt than the last one. I will say that. To me, anyway.
Well, now maybe we could, because we don't have to get hit by the lightning.
No, we don't. We can go in the barn. Do we want to see what happens when we go in the barn?
Because that's pretty close back, yeah.
Yeah.
Has to involve a farmer's daughter. or son. I don't know. I don't know.
Sure, you can stay in my barn. There's only one rule.
Don't touch my beautiful robot daughters.
Your Superbike is like,
Don't you be touching my beautiful bicycle dog. Just 3 beautiful bikes.
Wait, am I not supposed to be chewing?
it's fine.
All right. So are we going to go to just go to that barn?
Yeah, let's go to the barn, see what
Okay.
happens.
All right, we'll see what happens if we take shelter in the barn after this quick word from our sponsors.
SexyHackers.com.
This episode of Turn the Page Fun is brought to you by Newport, New England, where we definitely don't make the cigarettes. Bike racing is fun as fuck. Whoa, shit. Then.
SexyHackers.com.
And we are back. Dude, turn the page. Fun. Fun. Currently rereading Superbike by Edward Packard. We received a Superbike from a scientist, and we decided to keep it a secret and then enter it into a bunch of very public races. And right now we are racing in the New England, the Tour of New England. Mm-hmm. But we fell asleep. Oh. But we fell asleep. Tag, Brian, tag. Take your tag off. Take the tag off your shirt, Brian. Take the tag.
It's behind the mic. They can't even see it. Look, now you see it. Now you don't. Now you see it. Now you. Oh, okay. I don't care. I gotta take the tag off.
Okay.
Man, let's go.
Brian just
Acquired
a Sexy Hackers shirt. This is very, very comfortable.
And you know what I like most about it? Most of you bitches ain't got one.
But that could change if
That
you go
could
to
change, though. They have a thing called fun that you get money off.
No. You go to sexyhackers.com.
Okay.
And then you choose whichever shirt you would like. And there are plenty of T-shirts and sweatshirts and even bomber jackets.
Yeah.
And then when you go to checkout, just type in the promo code FUN and you get 20% off.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. It's that easy.
It's that easy.
Exactly what I meant.
And then they come with a tag on the shirt.
Which you can remove
Which
or
you
choose
can.
not to.
I am a tag American. That's how I identify. So 2020 on that shit, bitches. This is February though, isn't it?
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, it is.
You get a whole 29 days this year.
Yeah, because it's the Olympics and y'all need us. Oh my God. That's in my stand-up act. I take all
Holy shit, it's the
that
Olympics.
Yeah, right.
Is it
man.
summer or winter?
Yeah.
Track. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2020. 2016 was the last one, right?
Was 2016 summer or was 2016
Summer. The one every
Oh,
fall.
so it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like watching the Winter Olympics too, though, because I like hockey and skiing and I don't know.
I like whichever one has bike
Biking?
riding.
Bike riding? That'd be the Summer Olympics.
Actually,
Speaking
I
of-
like the one where you ski and shoot a 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the world's
That's so random.
that's the world's lamest drive-by. You're gonna get caught. I'm telling you now. The tracks is gonna give you away, bro. And you the one with the skis and the rifle.
Yeah.
So anyway, we are currently reading Superbike by Edward Packard. We decided to join the New England tour New England, but then we got so far ahead, we decided to take a nap under a tree, and then we
Fell asleep.
We fell asleep. We woke up. We get back on the road, but then a storm comes in, and so we chose. They finally give us a choice. We chose to now go into the barn and wait the storm out.
Right. Last time we chose to keep going, and now we're
And almost got hit by lightning. Thank you very
And it
much.
broke our bike.
I guess that just tells you this barn is not going to be any better than riding a bike.
You want to win, but not enough to risk being killed by lightning. You duck into the barn. A few moments later, the rain turns into a deluge. In the dim light inside, you see 6 or 7 cows, and sitting on a pile of hay in a corner, the biker who is ahead of you. Hi there, I'm Cliff Andrews, he says.
The cow on the left is mine.
You introduce yourself, and the two of you shake hands. A second later, you both jump as a tremendous thunderclap sounds over your heads.
Hold me.
Lucky we found shelter, Cliff says. That storm's dangerous.
I love Cliff.
I like how the cows are fine too. Wouldn't they be freaking out during the storm? Just
They're out there lowing.
yeah.
That's what cows
The
do.
cattle are
Cattle are
lowing.
lowing.
They're lowing.
Like in the Christmas.
I'm in charge.
You peer out at the rain lashing the hillside, then blink as a flash of lightning leaps across the sky.
You're blind.
Another thunderclap follows. You turn to your new friend. Say, Cliff, did you know if anyone's ahead of us in the race?
This kid went through puberty. His voice got deeper. Hey, kid. Hey, Cliff, get over here, man. See them.
Just Pete Gregory, as far as I know, Cliff says. If he got caught up in the storm, too, we might be able to catch him when it lets up. You glance at your watch, then look out at the door again. You wish the storm would pass quickly. You're itching to get back on the road, especially now that you know
Starts
there's
with an
probably only one biker ahead of you. Then, through the driving rain, you see a figure. It's another racer seeking refuge. He comes in, dripping wet.
Fuck out of here, Thad. I'll hit you with this goddamn cow if you come over here. I swear to God, Thad. Fuck you.
Oh, no, I don't want to do this. I'm not gonna.
He don't want to. No, you have to now.
Jose Montoya, he says.
This cow killed my father.
This cow killed my father. Prepare to die.
I am right-handed.
Hi, you and Cliff say.
Ah.
Hola.
Hola, do not mock me.
Cliff and Jose settle down in the hayloft. Well, okay.
You try to ignore the sounds of their passion, but it's deafening.
So this is what we call a roll in the hay. Thank you. Somebody had to say it, and too bad it was me. I hate myself right now.
But you stay where you can. But you stay where you can see out the door.
I'm not here.
You stare out
I'm
the
not
door
here.
as you listen.
I don't know what they're doing, but I'm not here.
The cows cover up most of it, but you figure it out.
You don't want to stay here a moment longer than you have.
Wow.
Yeah.
The storm rages on for another 20 minutes before the rain begins to let up.
And so do they.
You step outside. The thunder and lightning seem to have passed. Hey, guys, you yell. I'm on my way. A few seconds later, you push off down the road. Cliff and Jose are right behind you. You pull ahead of them.
Lovingly glancing in each other's direction.
But not as fast as you'd hoped.
Hell no.
The deluge has made a mess of the road, and you don't dare go over 10 or 15 miles per hour. After about 15 minutes, you pass a sign. You can hardly read it because the paint is so faded, but you can make out the words, "Leaving Vermont." That's good news. You're entering New Hampshire, the last state you have to cross. It's now 7 o'clock. The sun is shining again, but it's about to set behind the mountains. You had hoped the dirt road would end at the state line, but it seems to take forever before you finally reach a rolling concrete highway. You stop and look for a Tour New England flag.
The fuck is rolling concrete?
It's, rolling.
It's just like rolling hills.
Yeah, the rolling hills, but it's a highway.
As you look, a truck speeds by.
Rolling down the highway. You stop and look for a Tour New England flag. There should be one at the intersection with an arrow showing which way to turn, but you don't see it anywhere.
Oh, great.
I just realized we're all wearing black in this shot.
Yeah. Yep. Where's the flag? You're wasting precious time. Then you spot it. It's lying in the ditch in a puddle of water. The wind and rain must have knocked it down. There's no way of telling which direction the arrow was pointing. You're going to have to figure out which way to go on your own.
Don't you have a map?
For fuck's sake. I was going to... The map flew away when he was holding it up the first time.
Well, be excited, guys, because there is a picture of a shitty map.
Oh, yeah. The best.
And you know how much I love a shitty map.
It's just a theme.
You're going to have to figure out which... You quickly pull out your map. It's crumpled, but fortunately, you are carrying it in a waterproof pouch. The map shows that the final stretch of the road runs straight across the southern New Hampshire to the finish line, just across the main border. You look at the road and then the map again. Okay, so now there's a picture of this map. And there are exactly 4 lines on it.
The rest, we don't know.
2 of the lines are state borders. There's the border of Massachusetts and the border of Vermont and New Hampshire. And then there's a squiggly road. You'll probably have a picture of on social media of this map.
Please do.
There's a
But it's official because it's got north, south, east, and west on it, so you know you can't go wrong.
But there's one squiggly road on it that crosses the border, and that's it. There's like a line. It's like, oh, great, thanks. I guess I'm on the road.
Good thing I have this map.
It's a New England map, so the other parts just say, oh, folks don't go around here. They don't come back when you go out in these parts. These parts.
Trouble
these
down
parts.
this way. Can't get that from here.
And from behind a bush, Stephen King appears.
Exactly.
Writing a story about you, kid.
Writing a story about your superbike. I don't know how he sounds.
Like not
like
a
that.
1940s
Kind of sounds
reporter.
like David
No.
Sedaris, weirdly.
David.
I don't know.
Oh man,
The fact that you know that.
I listened to his audiobook.
Oh, yeah, okay. Cool. Wait, he has his own audiobooks?
He did On Writing, his book about writing.
Oh,
Stephen
shit.
King, yeah.
Check out Steve. That dude used to do so much blow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's when his books was good. And then he stopped and he got
Or like when he directed, what was that movie that he directed?
The car one about...
The one about the cars, Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
Where he just did a whole
Like-
bag of coke and wrote a movie and directed it.
Yeah, that was good. He wrote It. He wrote The Stand. He wrote.
Yeah.
He wrote. Wait, what was the other ones?
A whole bunch of them.
The whole, like, all of the...
all the '80s shit.
yeah,
right?
all the Gunslinger stuff, Green Mile, Misery is a great
We
one.
guess, according to any lawyers or anything at all, we.
he
this is
admits
just-
admits it that he was straight
Okay,
on.
then Steve, I used to sell it to him. Fuck Steve. That's why I bought that yacht.
You look at the road and then the map again.
He got on biker shorts now, and on the cover, he's got on blue jeans. I don't trust this little kid. What are you doing at barn?
He's got his helmet on.
If you turn right, turn to page 82.
One of these choices.
If you turn left, turn to page 79. If you decide to wait for the next biker to catch up and see what he thinks, turn to page 57.
Uh-oh.
I think that's the smart choice, honestly.
What, to sit and
Wait for the next person, because we got our air magnet. We got a concrete highway. We can beat him.
Yeah.
Can totally beat him, but what if he's lost too? What if he's got a map just like yours?
What does the map say? Where are we on that map?
Yeah,
Well,
we gotta
it
look at
doesn't-
the
yeah, I
actual
mean-
map now. We have to.
So we move right or left?
I'm assuming that it's going to be a map behind this
All right.
after post, and it's going to be right here.
Maine
Where
is the
we are,
northmost
right
state, right?
here.
Yeah. Well, yes.
North. So we should go north. Which way is that?
Well, I mean,
Right.
Maine is it's the northernmost state, but it's actually to the east of New Hampshire.
Ah, god damn it.
Yeah.
Wait, we got a perfectly good map of not that right here.
All right. I say we go to the control tower. No, wait, that's Bounty Island. Never
That's
mind.
All right. So, do we want to go right? Do we want to go left?
If we're at that intersection,
Yeah, on
then
this-
we should go right.
Yeah, so you're actually going to
You
use
can
this
say-
picture of this map?
Yeah, this shitty map.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, I
You
don't know
say-
what they want to do.
we
That's
could
what I
be. Well, here's the thing: we could be here, where we go right, or we could be here, where if we go right, we go back into Vermont.
If you got to go, you have. Wait, don't you go to Maine after? Wait, is this Maine? What the fuck, man?
This is New Hampshire. That's Vermont, and Maine is to the east of New Hampshire because it's got that like western
Weird
border
cutting.
all the way across
Oh.
New Hampshire.
Are you just really good at geography, or are you from around there?
I'm really good at geography.
That's unfortunate.
All right. Well, so what would your Mr. Geography, what would your recommendation be?
I have to remain neutral because I'm the keeper of the book.
I say we wait for the people, but I feel like we just want to go for it.
It'd be more of an adventure to not wait for help,
That's
but
true.
it'd be more stupid to go
To
off
just
and
go
you
off
don't
and-
know where you're going, but you do have the benefits of that map.
Adventure.
Adventure? All right, should we just go right then?
Adventure.
I'll follow
You want to
Stacy.
go right or left?
I said right based
Right?
on that
I'll say
perfect
go
map.
right
I'll go right because I'm,
All
it's
right.
my dominant hand.
because it's the right way
Oh,
to
we're gonna
go.
Right. Okay.
But
So
I'm
we're gonna see what
left-leaning.
happens,
That's true.
when we go right next week.
Damn it.
Page fun.
Bike hangers, bike cliffhangers.
Thank you so much to my friends for reading and reviewing this book with me. Thank you, Miss Stacy Pawlowski.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's always fun to have you. What are you doing this week in February? People can come see you do things.
Yep. I'll keep you posted.
Okay. So for you listening at home, Stacy is going to contact you directly and let you know what she is doing. Over on my very far left, Mr. Brian Bear. How can people see you in person or otherwise?
You can February 14th, Valentine's Day itself. You can come see No Dice live at the Ampersand Theater, where we will be doing Dungeons and Dragons, probably something Valentine's themed, I would imagine, but maybe not.
In Milwaukee,
Yes,
Wisconsin.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
At the Ampersand Theater on 10th and Wisconsin Avenue, the brand new Ampersand Theater. And if
right.
you are familiar with our the Twitch No Dice that you can see right here on the Sexy Hackers Network, sexyhackers.tv.com, you will notice that our live shows are very different.
Yes, they're
Because we don't let you interrupt us so often. But we do rely even more heavily on your suggestions to go through the adventure.
yeah.
And then there are also people involved in the live show that can't be bothered to do the Twitch. That's right, Jesse. I'm talking about you.
Ooh, I'm blessed.
Shots fired.
Anyway, February 14th.
Yeah.
Come see that show.
Yeah. I will be in that show as well, and you can watch me and Jesse beef out what I just said.
Gonna go get your hair cut and it's just gonna be bad.
Gonna go get my haircut. Yes.
That's me.
And finally, Mr. Brian Green, where can people see you in real life or otherwise?
Well, I'll be at Comedy Sportz probably a lot of the in the weeks to come here in February.
Yeah.
And then next month when it's March, I will be at Laughing Liberally
Oh,
Ironically,
cool.
at Comedy Sports.
All right.
Awesome.
In Milwaukee, Wisconsin as well.
Yeah. Laughing Liberally, that is, what day is that going to be?
It is the day that is in my phone, which is on the charger, which is over there.
Well, we can
It's
still
been on
find
the
out
charger.
next week.
We can find out next week.
You know,
because
tune in
I
next
think I'm
week.
just going to stay here till next week.
Tune in next week to find out where Brian is going to be in March. And then most importantly, thank you so much to Sexy Hackers for giving us this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful space. Please follow us if you like what we do here in Turn to Page Fun. Follow us on sexyhackers.tv.com. Follow us on Sexy Hackers Facebook, and get a bunch of chats with us and such. You can also find everything that Sexy Hackers puts out. Also being Who Let Me Read This, which is a very, very funny podcast about another book review podcast about the books that children should not be reading, but somehow read anyway because they were books. And parents are like, oh, good, they're reading. And Miss Laura Halteman and Andrea Radel Schroeder and Michelle White and Sarah Wallish do review those books, and it's also a very good time. Those drop every Wednesday. And also, if you do like D&D, go ahead and follow All Arcadians of the same network. They are more of a scripted podcast, but it's also very, very funny. Those are every Friday. And if you like the t-shirts that we are wearing,
Except this one, because you ain't getting it.
and if you like the sound of the t-shirts that we were wearing, you can get your own.
Take the tag off.
Now with removable tags.
With removable tags. Again, at sexyhackers.com, type in promo code FUN to, that's FUN for fun, to get 20% off. The Sexy Hackers t-shirts are oh so stylish, comfortable, and efficacious, and are the perfect gift to your Valentine. Yes.
He said efficacious twice in this month.
Yes.
And he will again.
And this is actually February for real, y'all. For real.
Yeah. So, go ahead and give it as a Valentine and be amazed at what may happen.
We make no guarantees.
No guarantees. Let's leave that wide open. Thank you to Jason for doing the sound editing with us.
Jason.
Making us sound great. And most importantly, thank you for being you. Listening to us, read to you. And with that, I will see you next week through your ears.
SexyHackers.com! Stream Team!